message you sent me.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just go in and ask me. You want to be like, hey, so how did you get into this? And I could just tell you, like that, and then I'd be like, well, how did you get into
And
this?
then that's
and
where
then
I'll
I'm
go with my
flowing to you.
questions.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
I think it's recording already.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me just yeah, it's recording. So basically, we want to have three camera angles. You see, for example, this is the main one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say this is the one recording, and then
Okay.
let's say that you wanna talk. What's your name again?
Sean.
Sean.
Yes.
So you wanna talk, then you switch to you.
Yeah, I see that.
And then if Laura talking, wanna switch to him.
Okay.
And then if like that will be for you, and then we change.
We'll switch it for him. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
So I'll start off asking you.
Yeah.
I was just like, we'll start off. I'll be like, what's up? How do we should get the intro, or should I just dive straight into it? Like,
I mean, like, okay, well, look, I mean,
You can start like looking at the camera. Let's say at the center camera.
okay,
Hey guys, welcome. We are now.
I'm JD. This is
yes,
Sean.
I'm Sean.
We're going to be talking about A, B, and C. Welcome to this, and let's get started.
Okay.
I have some question for you. Fine. We start from
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Or
cool,
maybe
cool.
you can even better introduce yourself.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, yeah, hi, my name is Sean. Everyone knows me as Rico, aka Clarity Rico on all platforms. And you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
But
Same
that's
way.
at the end.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Because in this case, always a host and a guest. The host want to introduce yourself.
Okay.
I want to introduce him, basically. You want to introduce him. So at the end.
Okay, yeah. So I understand what you're saying. So, I mean, so how you guys doing today, man? I want to let you guys know I got my man Jordan here. We are going to be doing a podcast. Got a lot of value, a lot of great things to give into you. Stay tuned. Get your pen and pads. Focus in.
Yeah, and then boom, start with the question, and then at the end, hey guys, how we can find you on social media?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So I'll start off. You ask. So you want because we were gonna. So we can't do it that way then.
We can't. We because it's a joint thing.
So let me just go. Let me just flow into start asking you, and then you can ask me.
Yeah, but you just introduce yourself. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, my name is Sean.
and I just say, hey, I'm Jordan, and then we just say we're gonna be talking about X, Y, Z.
We're gonna be talking about credit and business funding.
Yep. And then that's when I'll just start off. Hey man, Sean, talk to me a little bit more about how you got into it, how you got into credit, how you got into the funding industry.
Okay,
And you
so
ask me,
all right, because
and
you're
we just
going
flow.
first though. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. All right, so
Mhm.
basically, I'll tell you you want to give me a little backstory on how you got into this
Yeah.
industry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So I'll do the introduction for everybody for us, or do you want?
No. So we'll do a joint introduction. So like you'll say, what up, y'all? I'm Sean.
What's
da,
going
da, da.
on? Yeah.
And then I'll say, oh, what's up, y'all? I'm JD at Funded by. Don't say the name. I'm
Yeah.
JD. We're gonna be talking about credit and funding, and pretty much just giving you guys gems and tips on how to do this and what's going on, and kind of just giving you guys free game. And then that's when you'll come in and say, okay, well, and that's why I'll come in. I'll say, well, Sean, just talk to me a little bit more about how you got into it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
So you'll introduce yourself first. I'll introduce myself second. I'll get into how you got started.
Yeah.
And then you'll get into my questions.
So, yeah. Basically, yeah. There we go.
So I think we're ready.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a big clap.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Sean. Dang.
That's all good. That's all we got to keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? My name is Sean. We have a lot of value we're going to give here today. I'm with my man, Jordan.
Yep. What's up, guys? I'm JD. We're going to be giving out a lot of game about credit, about funding. Going to be giving you guys a lot of value today, just about different gems and things in the industry and different plays we know that we want to put y'all on to. So yeah, I got my boy Sean right here with me. And I've been interested in your journey, man. I just wanted to kind of just let the people know a little bit more about you, man, about, why you decided to jump into the credit and funding industry and what drawed you, near to it.
Well, in all honesty, my entire life, man, I've been chasing the bag. I feel like just
Right.
like everybody else, running around the mountain, trying to get up the mountain in a shortcut. But in reality is I had to sit back and educate myself financially to really know to take me out of the same
Yeah.
cycle I was going through forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And as far as I was actually trading crypto, I was trading stocks. I was
Okay.
going, during a period of time, I was day trading and I was swing trading cryptocurrencies, but I always kept looking for something bigger. And
Okay.
I wanted to get into real estate. So I looked into real estate,
Just trying to
educated
figure it
myself.
out.
Yeah, I've educated myself just about everything you could think of. And then I landed on credit. My boy had introduced me to it and we were trying to figure out how can we get some capital for ourselves?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Okay.
he explained to me a few things, and I jumped into credit and just kind of took off from there.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So you were really just trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
do a few different things, and then you feel, what was it about credit that made you say, okay, well, this is it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, a lot of people, for example, for myself, man, you know, I've been trying to save up money for years
Yeah,
and save and save, but then you guys got other complications in life where you got to
Right.
pay bills and things happen and so on and so forth.
Right.
But what I came to realize is that if I fix my credit, and what it was explained to me was if I fix my credit, I was able to leverage that credit
Right.
and get access to capital at a way faster speed than trying
Okay.
to save money over time. So
Right. It's gonna take
that
a
opened
minute.
my eyes.
It's
Yeah,
gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a minute.
definitely.
Okay. Okay. For sure.
All right.
sure.
Well, I mean, so you want to tell me a little bit about yourself and now how you got into this game?
Man, honestly speaking, I was always doing different businesses. Kind of
Mhm.
like, you know, what you were
Yeah.
saying, I was always doing different stuff. But the things that I was doing when I got a little older and found out about business credit,
Yeah.
that's what really changed my mind. But I didn't really know much about it. So when I got business credit, because I was doing a clothing line prior to the credit,
Mhm.
and I had business credit cards for it, but I was maxing them out.
Yeah.
I was maxing them out. I was just optimistic about the whole situation, but didn't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
So I got into a situation where the cars were maxed out,
Mhm.
and I needed to figure out either one, how to pay it or how to leverage it better. So that's why I started doing research. And you know, your algorithm talks to you. So you start researching one thing, you got 30, 40 other posts popping up.
Yeah.
So I seen, you know, mentorships and stuff like that. So I said, well, this is going to help me not be in this situation again. So that's when I started to learn more about business credit, teaching my friends and family more about it, just taking information that I was taught and I share with them. And I said, well, okay, if this is helping me, I know someone else needs this.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, well, let me dive in, let me take it serious, and let me see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we did. That's what we
Alright.
did. Yeah.
Well, all right. With that being said, why do
Yeah.
you think so many people? Excuse me. Why do you think so many people make good money but still
Yeah.
don't get approved or still getting denied?
Man, because we're still in the phase where people, you know, a lot of people think cash is king still. I mean, it's transitioning over, but people don't understand that on paper you got to look the part, right?
Yeah.
That's just what it is, right? Because you can have the money. I mean, you could be good within one area, but your credit is going to tell people, you know, are you trustworthy or not? It's going to
Yeah.
tell underwriters, are you trustworthy? It's going to tell, you know, the people that are in charge of approving you, how well can we trust them to pay back our money? And they're going to look at how you manage OPM, other people's money, before they give you their money. And with that being said, a 3-digit score is going to be able to tell people a lot about your spending habits, a lot about your leveraging, how well you budget. So people don't understand, man, that your credit card, your credit profile is like a report card.
Yes.
Because I mean, you know, you might have some classes that you pass, but if your overall GPA is not there, you're not getting into school, you're not getting approved for anything. It doesn't matter. So I think people are now realizing it, but people got to understand that credit is power, because in other countries they don't offer that, right? You can't get money just from off of a 3-digit score in other countries. So we got to be able to realize that this is why this is the American dream, you know. So I think that's going to be the biggest part of why people don't understand that.
Oh, I like that. It's beautiful. You know, definitely understanding your credit is a financial report card for yourself.
Man, huge.
Said
It's
it
huge.
beautifully, brother. Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
huge. It's huge.
Another question. Can you explain more about the credit game and what if someone wants to do it themselves?
Man, this is a game that I just give away for free, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't mind telling people how to do it themselves. I don't gatekeep, because I feel like, you know, for number one, credit and Chat GPT is gonna go hand in hand nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Any information, and not just credit, but any information you want to know, you can find out by just making sure you research on Chat GPT,
Yeah.
right? You want to use it as a business partner. So the first thing I'll tell somebody, if they say, listen, I don't have the funds right now, but I want to do it myself, I would say, number one, use Chat GPT as your business partner, right? You know, get a copy of your credit report. You can go to, you know, Identity IQ, My Free Score Now, annual credit report, wherever you choose to go. Get that credit report and put a copy of it and put it into Chat GPT, right? Now, I'm gonna give you guys a script, and I'm gonna give people the script they want to use to make sure that they get what they're looking for, without having to look over the credit. Because a lot of people don't know how to read their credit report. So let Chat GPT do it for you, right? This is the script that you guys want to use. You want to say, you know, hey Chat, this is a copy of my credit report. Write me a dispute letter that aligns with all of the negatives that are on my credit report. and make sure that you use the necessary consumer laws and write it in Metro 2 language. Okay. This is going to be because once this dispute letter gets processed and once chat gives you a dispute letter, the dispute letter is going to give you all the necessary laws and all the necessary language to get the late payment, the collection, the inquiry, whatever you're fighting. You don't necessarily have to pinpoint it. Chat GPT is going to do the work for you. And so it's gonna give you a Metro 2 dispute letter. So you know when you get shipped to the bureaus can understand exactly what language you're talking in, because this is the language that they communicate in as well. Yeah.
Beautifully, man. I like that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right. Now, can you explain how people can mess up credit card stacking?
Man, that's a great question, because I messed up credit card stacking.
I believe I've done it myself too.
Man, that's a great question. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I would say when it comes to credit card stacking, it is a fun thing to talk about, but you got to be very strategic with it, because when you're credit card stacking, you don't want to, if your goal is for a lot of money, you don't want to do everything in one round, right? Because if you credit card stack, let's just say you apply for 10 credit cards in one round, right? On your credit report, those are 10 inquiries within the span of 30 days, within the span of 40 days, however long you did it, within the time frame. It makes you look desperate, right? It makes you look desperate for funding. No lender is going to want to touch that. So when you're credit card stacking, you want to make sure that you do it strategically and in rounds, right? Just how credit repair is done in rounds. You don't want to keep running your credit, keep running your credit, keep running your credit. At a certain point, you're not going to keep getting approved for everything.
Yeah.
So let's just say you got 10 credit cards, do 5 in one round, right? Take 30 days, get those inquiries off, right? Because it's a business card. So with business, you can remove the inquiries. It's not gonna hurt. So do 5 in that round, and then the next round you want to go ahead and then you do another 5, right? If it takes 10 cards to get to your funding goal. That way your credit is not taking a hit, you're not looking desperate, but you're still getting the money that you wanted. So credit card stacking is a good way to get funding, but it's easy to mess up.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. And another question following up, there's things about collections. Why shouldn't
Man.
someone automatically pay their collections?
Man, people think paying a collection is gonna automatically boost their score, right? And you know that. Like you already know that. Dealing with the clients you deal with, you know that, right?
Definitely.
But what happens is you're losing your leverage.
Yeah.
So when you pay a collection, it's pretty much what's called an admission of debt. You're pretty much admitting to the amount that that's in collection. So you always want to follow up with them, right? You always want to either, number one, you have 2 options. The first option, you want to call the lender and see if they offer pay to delete options, meaning it's just what it sounds, right? I want to pay this in exchange for a deletion, right? Because if you pay a collection and they don't offer that option, that collection just goes from a collection to now a paid collection, but the history stays on the account. So that is why you want to make sure that either you get that paid to delete negotiated with and they send you documentation, or, okay, you want to send in what's called a debt validation letter. Now, this is kind of going into the dispute process, but this is going to be the first step of fighting it, right? So paying a collection does nothing for your credit score. It does nothing for, an increase. If anything, it makes you lose your leverage and it messes you up more than it helps you.
Just to piggyback off of that, are you aware of the assignment of debt?
Assignment of debt as well. Yep, the assignment of debt as well. That's something that you also want to ask for. Making sure that they have the actual assignment and the rights to your debt.
Exactly.
So I mean, it gets technical, but it's really not a hard thing. But you just have to have the knowledge of what to do, because as you know, you got a lot of clients, I got a lot of clients, and they come and they say, hey, I paid this collection, nothing happened. Well, this is because, paying a collection doesn't help, right? So
I know I've always told my clients to understand that you don't have a promissory note with this collector. You don't have a contract with this collector. Not with the person that you're connected to. So
correct. And some of the ones like Jefferson Capital, LV funding,
LV funding.
You know a few,
a big
like
one,
like it's these are the same ones that are getting everybody.
Outlawed collections.
There you go, go. So it's a lot going on, man. So I mean, just having knowledge is key.
Most definitely. Okay, so I ask you this though, because this is something that I need to know myself. What can you do with what can someone do if they're being held up by check systems?
Man, I feel like this is the number one thing people are talking about, but no one really has a solution for it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So this is gonna be pretty much a workaround if you're in check systems, right?
Yeah.
And I always talk about this, right? So pretty much the number one thing you want to do, the number one thing I would do, I should say, is if I'm in check systems, I'm going to get a membership with the American Consumer Council.
Mm.
Okay, this is the ACC.
And why
The,
is it?
the reason why I'm going to do this
Mm-hmm.
is going to be because once I get an account with them, I can now get into a bank that they're a part of, right? So the American Consumer Council pretty much is a membership, and once you join this membership, they're actually partnered with a bunch of different credit unions throughout, the U.S.
Mm.
So credit unions we know are based on relationship, right? They're not algorithm based. They're based on relationships. So me knowing that, if I know that I can become a part of a credit union by joining the ACC, the American Consumer Council, I'm going to join that. And that is going to be an indirect way to get a bank card, to get a checking account, because these credit unions are going to go based off relationships solely, right?
Yeah.
And some of these offer second chance accounts, okay, which means that
Yeah, I was gonna
you
ask
have
what
an
that is.
you have an opportunity to actually start fresh. And the membership is like, I think like $15 for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not paying monthly. This is just something you can start fresh, man, and get you on your feet and start rebuilding,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I'm in check systems, that's gonna be my first step, is to go ahead with the ACC and get that figured out.
Okay,
Get
perfect.
that figured
perfect.
out, man.
That's nice. I like that. And this is a little game for people. If
Yeah.
to join for free, you just use the promo code consumer. You didn't hear it from me.
Right, right. That's real game. That's
Yeah.
real game.
There you
That's
go.
real game. I appreciate that, man, and I appreciate the questions you asked, man. But honestly, I got some questions I want to ask yourself, man.
Okay.
And kind of just, I heard your background. I heard you talk a little bit more about, why you dove into credit.
Mhm.
But now that you're in it, talk to me about, what's going to be the biggest misconception that people not only have about credit, but more so about business funding.
I get this a lot. A lot of
Okay.
people, when I try to help them out with funding or even try to give them the idea that they can, grow their business through funding, they always come back, well, my business hasn't been in business that long, or I'm not making very money, or if I'm not making any at all. And
Right.
some people are just starting their companies out. And so I explain to them, like, you actually can open up an LLC today and
Right.
tomorrow get funded, as long as your credit is where it's at, creditworthiness,
Okay.
And along comes that is a business structure. As long as your business is structured properly, with these two things, you're able to put yourself in a position to get funded right away. And I like to stick with 0% interest credit cards because it's a
Okay.
start off. Before
Okay.
you start moving into business loans and lines of credit. Because I understand that you do actually need to be a business for roughly 2 years plus to actually get business lines of credit as well.
Correct.
So,
Talk to me a little bit more about that. Then that 0% interest. What is that? What leverage does that give someone if they're just starting out and they need a business credit card and it's a new business? Why is 0% interest something that's important to know?
okay, well let's just get straight to it. Well, simply put, you're not paying back more than what you're borrowing. First
Okay.
and foremost, you know what I
Okay.
mean? You're jumping in, you get a $25,000-$30,000 credit card. You can take all that money and max it out. It won't actually affect your personal side because the
Okay.
utilization doesn't report. But what you can do is max that out and take that money and invest it to a business or something that you can do that's going to create more revenue for yourself. And the reason why I
Okay.
like to stick with 0% interest because you're not paying back more than you have. You have 12 to 18 months, and
Okay.
you're only making a minimum payment of maybe $200-$300 a month.
Okay. Got you. So you're just leveraging it while you get profit. While you become more profitable.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. And it's like once people understand that, the whole funding conversation changes with everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once you become more financially literate and understand the difference between good debt and bad debt,
Got
puts
you.
you in a better place mentally and financially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk more about that then, because if someone's getting 0% interest,
Mhm.
I can imagine there's a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of people that are getting this thing. So what are some of the most mistakes that entrepreneurs are making that's hurting their chances at getting the funding that you're talking about?
Well, I believe applying without an actual plan behind it. People like to people work out of desperation sometimes, start applying emotionally instead of strategically.
Okay.
Start just applying over and over again, just like you were saying,
Right,
looking
right.
desperate in a sense. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
And
right.
that right there automatically will start putting you in a bad position because you're constantly got new inquiries on your report.
Right.
And so another issue is mixing personal with business.
Okay.
Like your finances, understanding like when structuring your business, you want to make sure that you have your business phone number. You want to make
Right.
sure that you have a business email, business address,
Correct,
instead
correct.
of using your secondary phone or your Yahoo or Google
Correct.
email. I mean, what this does, it just gives you credibility to the banks. It makes you look more professional, and going to
Right.
get an address like virtual address, you know,
Right.
that anyone can look up for, you know, Opus, DaVinci, you know,
Correct.
plenty of these companies that offer these things, and you can also go in and work in the buildings as well.
Got you.
You know,
Got you.
so people, I like to just make sure that, you know, a big mistake is that people aren't, you know, separating their personal with their business, you know,
Right.
and just thinking that you got to be more professional and more strategic with what you're
Right.
doing.
Because you're still competing with the big businesses, right? Like
Yes.
the Walmarts, the Targets, the stuff that's still in your area. They're still big businesses that you're competing with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I believe also I would like to follow up with that was misuse of your personal credit. You know,
Talk a little more about that.
the reason why I say misuse of personal credit is like over leveraging your personal credit, just taking a loan out and then using that, you know, taking that money and going to buy jewelry or go
Right,
buy
right,
a
right.
car that's not
Right.
bringing you back any asset or
Right,
money,
right.
excuse me, you know what I mean? This is where it
Okay.
comes to assets and liabilities, you know, taking the credit card from your personal side and buying a bunch of frivolous things that you don't need.
Right.
And you know
okay.
what I mean? And people do that a lot and put themselves in a position where now they have high utilization, they have more debt, you know, and then basically when you move to the business side, it's gonna it's gonna make it more difficult for you to get access to that capital.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So I
okay.
always like to use your personal credit as a tool,
Right.
you know, as a chess piece on the board of you trying to achieve your goal. You know,
Got you.
basically, yeah. You know, get yourself built out properly, make sure you got all the data points correct.
Correct.
And then go get yourself a loan. I would call it a key loan. And the reason why
Right.
I say a key loan is because it's opening up doors for you for everything else.
Okay.
Taking that loan and turning around and opening up bank accounts and establishing relationships, you know, spread that out through several banks. And now you
Right.
can double back in 30 days. And that first $20,000, $30,000 loan you got, now you turn that into $100,000, $150,000.
Wow. Okay. You just flipped it.
Yeah.
You just flipped it.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. We'll talk a little bit more about that then. What does a funding sequence actually look like then? Because you know you spoke a lot about funding, but for the people saying, well, Sean, you're not telling me how, or you're not telling me what it looks like. Can you expand a little bit more about that?
Mm-hmm. So as long as your business foundation is built out properly, you know,
Okay.
and your personal credit is looking right, and you know, let's just speak on, you know, leveraging and personally guaranteeing credit. So let's do it like that. You know, for example, I believe a beautiful sequence would just start off on your personal side to get, like as I said, to get a personal loan. Start off
Okay.
there. You know, once you have that money and you're able to build yourself up throughout these banks and establish more relationships. And now when you do go apply, you want to make sure you apply, and it doesn't have to be in a chronological order, but you want
Right.
to make sure that, you know, within the sequence that each bank reports to one bureau. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, for example, you got Chase that reports to Experian, you got Navy Federal that reports to TransUnion, you got U.S. Bank that reports to Equifax, you know? And so what you would do is basically go, not necessarily linear or whatever it may be, but you want to
Right.
do one for TransUnion, one for Experian, and one for Equifax.
Okay.
And you can do that up to 3 times on each one, you know, essentially putting yourself in position to, you know, get 9 cards off of one round.
Got you.
You know, and as you said before, you know, your the inquiries on your personal side won't affect your business side. So
That's
you
true.
can remove them because the account itself is not reporting on there.
That's true.
You know,
That's
and
true.
that's how you start fresh. Basically, as you said, run your first round, clean it off, and then you would double back and do it again. But just knowing which bank reports to who will
Right.
put you in the
It's
best
very
position.
key.
Yeah.
That's very key. Okay, so think about it like this: if I'm a person, right, and you know I never had capital before, so what should I do? What would be the first thing that I should do if I wanted capital? What's the first steps that I should take?
First step I suggest is pull your credit.
Okay.
Right? You know, that's why I
Right.
tell people you can't ignore a problem if there's a problem because it's not going to go away.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would suggest first off, pull your credit and make sure the data points are there. You
Right.
know, you look at the data points. Now, it doesn't need to be it's not as imperative as it is on business.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As far as, for example, on the business side, you may need 10 plus positive accounts along with 2 credit cards for yourself to start getting funded.
Okay.
You know, now on the personal side, you just roughly need maybe 5, 6 accounts.
Got you.
You know, and you can
Okay.
start with credit builder accounts, you know. So this is what you could do is if you don't have any established credit, you can add 3 to 4 credit builder accounts. They have Kovo, Kickoff,
There you go.
Self, you know. You have
you
Me,
go.
Ava, you know, they will give you a beautiful mix as well as installment and revolving at the same time.
There you go.
You know, and then you can go ahead and take a little bit of money, let's say from your paycheck or something, and go open up. I believe it's the minimum is a 200. Go, you know,
Okay.
open up a pledge loan at, you know, your local Navy Federal Union or credit
Perfect.
union or
Perfect.
another credit union that you can work with, but basically get a pledge loan. And what
Okay.
this what basically is, you put your own money up,
Right.
you borrow against your own money,
Mhm.
pay off 90% of that, 95% of that. That money will go right back into your account,
Okay.
and you can do this a couple times. Now you have two loans on your account
an
that are
account.
basically paid off. So
That
that,
looks
puts
really
you in a
good.
way better
Really
position.
good.
And not only does that build your paternal score with the bank in itself,
Really, really good.
you
Really
know,
good.
and now you're in a position to go apply for that personal loan. you know?
Really good. Really good.
Definitely.
That's good. That's good, man. That's good. And I feel like you dropped a lot of gems. And I like I said, the funding talk, and I had a question for you, man. I wanted you to expound on this, man.
Okay.
The double dipping, man. Double dipping. Talk to people about double dipping and what it is that people don't know about double. What is double dipping?
Okay, well, essentially, double dipping is basically you applying for multiple products with one inquiry from one
Okay.
institution. You know, like for example, you may be able to get multiple credit cards from the bank that you're going to apply with.
Yep.
Or you know, recently, like there's a credit union in the Bay Area is Redwood Credit Union.
Okay.
You know, what you could do is which reports to Equifax.
Okay.
You know, and what you could do is when you apply, you get a credit card and you can double back and ask for a personal loan at the same time.
Yep.
You know, they even do this. You can even move, and they do more than just double dipping. You can move into the business as well and get multiple
Yep.
products off that same inquiry as long it's within 30 days.
Correct.
And that right there will save you from building up all those inquiries and looking desperate to other people. Plus,
Correct.
it maximizes the amount of money you can get at one time from one institution.
Correct. That's good game. That's really good game. That's really good game. That's why I asked about that because
I'm glad you
know,
did.
right now I asked about that because I know people need that. But like I said, when I was first starting off, I didn't know about it. Right. I didn't know about double dipping.
Oh, likewise, brother. Likewise.
Horizontal funding, vertical funding, as you just broke down. So, man, you gave some good game today. I feel like we both dropped some gems
Yes,
that
sir.
they're gonna need. And like I said, man, this is just something that I always wanted to do. I always want to put together something to make sure that I always like giving free information, right? Because I don't want you know what type of industry this is.
Yeah.
People were saying things that are false. People were advertising things that's not true. So man, you like I said, you gave some good game. I think we delivered for the people. And like I said, man, when it comes to credit and funding, it's all about just knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You can't once you learn more, you earn more, right?
Of course.
And
of
you
course.
don't know what you don't know,
Exactly.
right? So it's just about making sure that once you learn something, you're not guessing with your credit. You're not guessing with trying to figure out how to get the funding, right? When there's $50,000-$60,000 on the line, why are we guessing with this information?
Exactly. You gotta
Right.
have clarity.
Right, clarity. So that's what this is about, man. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming on, giving people game. I appreciate you being down, sitting with me and giving people game. So, man,
I appreciate you taking the time to speak to me
Man,
today, man. I
man,
really appreciate that.
I
Thank
appreciate it,
you.
man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
No,
right,
definitely,
for
brother.
sure.
You know, you want to before we go though, would you like to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, for sure. Guys, man, make sure you guys follow me at Funded by JD, FUNDED by JD on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you have, I'm there. Make sure you guys follow me. So people know where they can find you at, man.
Oh man, so you can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Clarity Reek. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, no, you good. You good. You good. We think we're good. Yeah.
I froze up at there. I don't know what happened right there.
Nah, you good. We could redo it. I mean, yeah, bro. I think we were flowing smooth too, bro.